Welcome everyone to the Packmates. We're doing our Brothers War set review. I'm Roby, the Dirtle expert.
I'm Andrew, the mid-range expert.
I'm Ryan, the aggro expert.
We're the Packmates.
We are the Packmates.
Oh,
ow!
Ayo!
And we're gonna start with the white comments. And our first white comment is Aeronaut Cavalry, which is a 4 and a white for a human soldier with flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target soldier you control, and it's a 3/4. This seems very strong. I give this like a 6. Like, it seems pretty good, like a good curve topper.
Yeah, when I originally rated this card, I'm glad we're looking back a little bit because I realized that the flyers in this set aren't as big as that 3/4. This guy's pretty intimidating, and it has a pretty good ability with that soldier payoff as well. So 6 is definitely strong enough for this card.
Yeah, I'm at a 6 too. I think it's good.
I would probably go to a 7 if it could put its counter on itself.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 5
that would be insane.
Really strong, yeah. All right, next up we have Airlift Chaplain. 2 colorless, 1 white for a creature, human cleric. 1/1 flyer. When Airlift Chaplain enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You may put a plains or a creature card with mana value 3 or less among those milled cards into your hand. And if you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on Airlift Chaplain. I just don't know how many times you're actually going to hit with these mill cards. There's a whole set of these, and they all seem super gambly, super risky. I'm glad this one has a good catch mechanic, but I feel you're going to get a 2/2 flyer for the most part. With this guy, it's a 4.
2/2 flyers, a 5 for 3. But I made a chart to show you. So let's say you have. I know we don't have a ton of time.
Look at this.
Let's say you have. What?
It hits on
creatures, planes, or mana value 3 or less. Let's say you have 10 of those left in your deck, and you have 26 cards left in your deck. So this is a while into the game. 76% chance to hit. Insane. Let's say you have 7 and 26 cards. 60% chance to hit. Basically 61.
So good.
That's not
pretty
bad.
good.
I'll take my gambling. That's passing high school.
Yeah, that's passing. 54. But now we're kind of worried, but if we have cool teachers, we're still passing, right?
yeah.
54. And yeah, if you get, I think it's good. I mean, I think 10 creatures that cost 10 creatures plus planes.
Yeah, that's
is like
so
reasonable.
Easy.
That's reasonable.
That's beyond reasonable. Like, if you're playing white, you already have like 8 planes in your deck.
Don't you?
And if you have like, at least 8. Like,
and this is a 3-drop, so you're probably playing it like the earliest you're playing is when you have like 30 cards left in your deck because you start with 7, you draw 3, right?
Yeah.
So if you have 10 left, not counting the ones you've already drawn, right? Because you're gonna already have some in your hand.
you're gonna have more.
Like 70% chance with 30.
You're gonna have borderline like 20% of like 20 cards in your deck. Like, that's
all right. Well,
fair warning. This is probably bad math, but
I'm so glad you had the chamber. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's better. Maybe it is a 6. Maybe it's a 5. Probably.
What do you have?
I had it as a 4.
I have it as a 6. I mean, it's a 2/2 flyer for 3, and if you draw a card, it's like really good.
I have this at 8. This is basically Wingmantle Chaplain / Organ Hoarder. It's obscenely good. This is gonna be so good. Genuinely, like, this card is gonna be like the best white common for sure. Yeah, like if you ever get that card off it, that's foul. That's disgusting. Yeah, I have it at 8.
Give it an 8. Yeah, that's kind of high.
Yeah.
It's still a 1.
Nope.
All right. Next up, we have Ambush Paratrooper. This is a colorless and a white for a creature human soldier. 1/2 flash flying. Pay 5 with your power stones. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Flash flying 1/2 is pretty good. I mean, I know I'm gonna be higher on this card than most of these guys are. I'm at a 5, leaning towards 6 on it.
I have a 6 on it. It's good.
I got a 5 on it. Yeah.
I think you'll want it. You'll want it. You'll play this. Yeah,
Yep.
You'll be happy to have it. Next up, we have Deadly Riposte, which is 1 and a white for an instant. Deadly Riposte deals 3 damage to target tapped creature, and you gain 2 life. I have this at a 6. It's like conditional removal. It's good. Keeps you in the game.
I got
Bad
this.
in an aggro deck.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I got this kind of at a 4. I just think 3 is not maybe enough in this set.
I think mixed with some blocks, it could be good. And the 2 life is like a lot too. This is kind of a blowout against an aggro deck.
Oh yeah, if you're aggro mirror or something like that,
I'll put it. Yeah, I'll put it at a 5 in between you guys.
All right. Next up, we have Disenchant. 1 colorless, 1 white. Instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Oh my goodness, this card seems very good in this set. Blast from the Past, this card's going to be awesome in this set. I like it when they reprint Disenchants or Naturalizes in these kind of artifact-based sets. They're always traditionally pretty good. This is probably going to be like a 5 or a 6. I'd probably say a 5, but it's probably leaning towards a 6.
Yeah, I'm at 6. I think it's gonna have a ton of targets against almost every deck.
I actually have this at 7. I think this is like premium removal in this set.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I put it at 7.
Next up, it's me, right?
Yeah.
We have Lauren's Escape. This is 1 white for an instant. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Scry 1. This is terrible. It's a 1.
Tripping. You're high. This is a 6. This is a good trick. Calm down.
I'm pushing Roby's buttons. I'm at like a 4 on it. I think it's like
you get a scry too. Plus you get hexproof. That's disgusting. It's real good.
I think just protecting an artifact too is pretty good. I'm sure some secret mystic archive artifacts that are going to need some protecting, and this is really good. This is probably a 5. I mean,
you need it to protect from 6 out of 10 disenchants, right?
Yeah, it does protect against disenchants, and it does give indestructible and hexproof, so it saves them from every.
It's scry. You get a scry too.
I'll move it up to a 5.
It's not nothing.
You convinced me.
Next up, we have Military Discipline, which is 1 mana for a white enchantment. It's an aura with flash. Enchant creature whenever it enters the battlefield. Enchanted creature gains first strike until end of turn. Enchanted creature also gets +1/+0. I have this at 5, maybe 6. I don't know.
Maybe
it's a good trick. It's a good trick. Plus, you get to keep the +1/+0.
Oh my gosh, I have this.
It's a flash.
I got this at a 2. I mean, there's been other cards.
Oh, you're tripping.
That were equipments that were better than this. This is real bad. You don't even get to keep it around.
It's at instant speed. It triggers your prowess creatures.
Oh my gosh! Now this is like a 2.
Yeah, no, this is a blowout though.
Please,
first strike.
Many of these in your deck, and I will blow you out with a disenchant or something. I mean, my goodness.
But like, you have to do it at instant speed too, right?
Oh man, you guys, calm down. Okay. This doesn't trade up like a ton. It does trade up a little bit.
Yeah.
If it can trade up, it's good. I think there's less instant speed removal in this format in general. I think there's like significantly less. So that's going to make this slightly better. I'm 4 leaning towards 5. I don't think it's a 2. I do think it is playable. And I think if you ever get a body with it, like it's going to feel pretty good.
So the other thing too is like, even if you disenchant this at instant speed, that creature still gets first strike.
Yeah, I mean, if you disenchant my military discipline, I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, like that's like I don't know. I think it's gonna be way more playable. Plus prowess, right?
Yeah,
this is super good with prowess.
I mean, I think it's playable. I just don't think it's like. I think you maybe only want 1.
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof.
I agree with that. I don't think you want like a deck.
I feel like I'm cutting this every time.
You gonna learn. You gonna learn.
Yeah,
There's a bunch
we'll
of 3
learn, for
ones. There's a
sure.
bunch of 3 ones.
Maybe. All right. Next up, we have Phalanx Vanguard. It's a 1 colorless, 1 white for a creature human soldier. It's a 2/2 with vigilance. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Phalanx Vanguard gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. This is probably a 4. I mean, there's going to be some instances, but basically, it's just a bear that gets +1/+1 every turn, maybe every other turn.
Yeah, +1/+0. It has vigilance, which is like kind of relevant, but it's still a 2/2 or 3/2. Those are just so easy to block and trade with. It's a 2-drop if you need it, but oftentimes you're not super happy about jamming it in your deck. You'd rather have better 2-drops. It's a 4.
Yeah, I had it at 5, but it's probably a 4. It's just like you'll play it if you need it, but you don't want to have to play it.
Right. Next up, we have Power Stone Engineer. This is a colorless and a white for a creature human artificer, 2/1. When it dies, create a tapped Power Stone token. This is a 2/1 that makes a Power Stone for 2. That's pretty good. I feel like this is a 6 leaning towards 7 if you want Power Stones.
That's where I'm at on it. Like, if it was the fact that it dies bumps it down a little. So, like, I'm at 6. If it was whenever it entered the battlefield, I'd be at 7.
Yep.
I'm kind of at a 5 with this guy. I mean, it's just going to trade. You just want it dead every time, but you're getting like half a card, really. I mean, what's a Power Stone token? Unless you're really ramping. I feel like drew a card would be pretty good, but I'll keep it at 5.
Yep. Next up, we have Prison Sentence, which is 2 and a white for Aura enchantment. Enchant creature whenever it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. I hate these cards. Like, I have this at a 5. It's okay, but I always hate these.
I have it at a 6. I think the Scry takes it up, and it's probably more of a 7, even with the activated abilities. Arrests are always pretty good.
Yeah, I just have it at a 6 because I do think people are going to play Artifact and Enchantment Hate, so it's a little bit more vulnerable than normal, but I have it at a 6.
Next up is Recommission, 1 colorless, 1 white for a sorcery. Return target artifact or creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If a creature enters the battlefield this way, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. Man, this is like a really kind of not as good regrowth. I mean, if you're really aggressive, I'd probably have a 4.
On a 6, I mean, give me a body back for cheaper and a 1/1 counter. I think this card's going to actually be really good in the deck that cares about it, which is like the 3 mana value or less deck, obviously. I do think it's going to be pretty good, and you're going to be able to do some crazy stuff for 2 mana.
I'm at a 4 on it. It just takes a lot of effort to get going.
2 mana
You know.
and having creatures, man.
This goes against it, though, right? Like, every recommission you put in your deck makes it harder to make recommission good, right?
Yep.
Because that's less 2-drops in your deck. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for me to really get behind this. It might be good, but
I think it's going
I
to be
don't know.
sneaky good, but we'll see.
It might be sneaky good. You're right. Next up, we have Survivor of Coreless, which is 1 white mana for a creature human soldier. It's a 1/1 with first strike, and you can pay 1 and a white. Exile it from your graveyard to scry 2. I'm gonna play this card way too much, but it's probably like a 5. Like a very generous 5. Like,
This feels like a 3 to me.
I'm gonna play it.
I just how many times do you need a 1/1 first striker and then just the gaining life is whatever.
With the like, if you have any soldier payoffs though, like, it has
Yeah.
first strike, right? Like, that's a pretty good ability. Like, if you give it +1/+1, Like,
How many
It's kinda
giant
gross.
growths do you need to have for this to be crazy?
4.
4?
4 giant growths? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, I just am kind of low on aggro right now. I feel like if aggro's good, this is gonna be good. If the soldier payoffs are good enough, you have the soldier deck, it's gonna make it better. Obviously, it's kind of built around in that fact. It doesn't really stand on its own. A 1/1 first striker for 1 doesn't really do anything. Scrying 2 and exile from your graveyard isn't a ton. It's not really worth a card slot in your deck. I'm starting off at a 4, but I think you could build around it and definitely support it, and it could be all star in
Decent,
some decks.
All right, we have Union of the Third Path. 2 colorless, 1 white for an instant. Draw a card. Then you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. This is a 2.
Come on, Andrew. You really think this is a 2? It's at least a 3. It says draw a card.
Just 1 card.
I know.
Life. I mean, my gosh. This is...
Draw a card, gain some life for 3. Yeah, this is overcosted.
Yeah, I have this at 3, but
Yeah.
it's probably more like a 2. This is a hardcore trap.
Yeah, it's like
you should not play
revitalized, but
this.
worse.
You should for sure not play this. Like, this is a terrible card, right?
Isn't
like
revitalized better?
It is
Two-
because it only costs 2 mana and you gain 3 life guaranteed. Like you aren't even guaranteed to gain the 3 life, right?
Right, and no one ever played revitalizes. like, that
Ever.
much.
There were some sets where like it was relevant, but
Yeah. It's a 2.
yeah, this card's terrible. Yeah, I'm down to 2. You guys convince me.
Next up, we have Warlord's Elite. This is 2 colorless and a white for a creature human soldier. It's a 4/4. As an additional cost to cast this spell, tap up to 2 untapped artifact creatures and/or lands you control. So it could be a 4/4 for 5, or you could tap 2 creatures or artifacts, and it's a 4/4 for 3. I think best case scenario, you 1-drop, 2-drop this, and you have to tap your attackers because you're obviously an aggressive deck. I feel like that's kind of a drawback that you have to tap them to play this 4/4. And you kind of miss a turn of that tempo. I don't think this card's very good. I have it at a 3.
I had it at a 4. I thought it was super mid, but it might be even worse than that. I don't even think you ever want to play this, really.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a 4, maybe a 5 on this. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to slow your momentum, but a 4/4 for 3 is pretty decent.
That is bullshit.
Like grindy.
I don't know.
I think if you just got a really aggressive starter, just have a bunch of power stones that you're not doing anything with, this helps you kind of get there with them.
But God, if you're playing a 4/4 with your power stones, you're just like looking
You're
at
doing
yourself in the
all
mirror,
sorts of wrong.
and you're like, "What am I doing? Who am I? What is life?"
Like
That's how you-
is a
So-
5 mana 4/4 like that's terrible. Like
Yeah.
it's not even that good. Like even if you're doing like in its best case scenario, I still think it's like very mediocre.
Like its best case scenario is a worse Yavimaya Sojourner, and it's in a deck that like in its best case scenario, it's an aggro deck, so you play it on 3, and then you have to miss a whole turn of attacks. Like
yeah.
it's
All right.
and Yavimaya Sojourner was in a late game deck, and it still wasn't even that good.
All right.
Yeah, this is so aggressively bad compared to Argivian Phalanx.
Yeah,
Like this is so mid.
If it had vigilance, would it be better? I bet it would be.
it would be better.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
even have like any ability.
I still don't think it would be. I
Yeah,
still
I
think
still-
it'd be a 3. It's probably like honestly like a 2.
I'd give it a
Yeah.
3 just because I gave it so high first, but 3 is good.
Next up, we have Yoshin Medic, which is 2 and a white for a legendary. It's not legendary. I'm tripping. For a human cleric soldier, it's a 1/4 with lifelink. I kind of like this card. like against all reasonable expectations of how I should feel about this. I think it's like a 5,
Breaking
Maybe.
news.
even a 6. It's kind
Breaking
of.
news. The Dirtle expert likes the 1/4 lifelinker.
Oh my
I
goodness.
just like it. I like the picture on it. I like that it's a cleric too for no reason. I just like it. I give it a 5.
I give it a 2 for all those reasons. 'Cause I don't like it.
Andrew
is
hates
harsh.
the artwork.
Never
He
play
doesn't want it to be a cleric.
You tell me when you're gonna put this thing in your 23 cards.
You know I will. You know I will. And it's gonna be so annoying.
When you're playing, when you're doing anything with Power Stones and you have white mana, when you're trying to be the late game deck, this just stops the whole board. Or if I want to give it the Andrew special, it gums up the ground and it gains you life.
Yeah.
And it's a soldier.
It's a
And it only
soldier,
costs
yeah.
3.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
attack. That's good. It's not a full-on defender.
yeah.
I love the artwork too. I have no idea what's going on.
I
Like
don't
it's
know.
so funny.
Oh my god.
That's like me if I was in a battle. Like I just be on something. I just be on some contraption. You have no idea what I'm doing. Like I love it.
I think I'm at a 4.
Jeez. Next is Scrapwork Cohort, 4 colorless for an artifact creature soldier, a 3/1. When Scrapwork Cohort enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token, and then assault Earth for 2 colorless and 1 white. Very solid. Better than a 1/4 with lifelink. That's for damn sure. This is definitely.
I don't know. I could never get in against the 1/4 life linker.
Oh
That's
my
for
God.
sure. Ever. Never could.
Yeah. I think we talked about this card on our last podcast. We didn't
We did.
obviously know the context of the set, but
Yeah.
I kind of am up to a 6 with it. Like making a ton of soldiers sounds like it's exactly what you're gonna do in the soldier archetype.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really bad value though for mana. Like we don't play 4/2s for 4. That's I don't know. Like the only use case I see for it is this card does make 4 artifacts, right? Like
Power Stones.
Yeah.
with your the one guy that I saw, the 2 mana white green guy, like this is 4 +1/+1 counters, which is insane, right? But like
Mhm.
other than that, I think it's a terrible card. I had like a 4. But it does make relevant creatures.
I don't know, with
right?
all those spacing out, with flooding the board with 1/1s and soldiers and things like that. It's just you want to go wide in that soldier deck.
For the record, never ever gets through Voation Medic ever. Just for the record.
Here.
Votion, yeah.
Yeah, it does because you're gonna have all your soldiers are gonna have +1/+1, so it's gonna cut through it like butter.
Well, if your soldiers get to have +1/+1, then my soldiers get +1/+1.
Nah, you're not playing.
they're
You're
still
not
not
playing the
getting through.
Lloyd and the Yoshi.
They're still not getting through. Like
Who
I'll
is
just-
Andrew?
it's
Okay.
Andrew.
I just went.
Oh,
Okay.
you just went? Okay. Takesha's Onulet. 5 colors for an artifact creature construct. This is a 4/4. And when it leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life. You can unearth it for 4. 3 colorless and a white. So 4/4, when it leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life for 5. I think this is solid. I think you'll play it. I think it's a 5 in the white deck, maybe a 4 in non-white decks.
I have it at 5. I think it's reasonable.
I have it a 4 for a 4/4. It's reasonable. It's good.
It's like decent rate. It's not that bad.
Yep.
Next up, we have Veterans Power Blade, the most Andrew card in the set.
Yeah, hold Andrew back. Hold him back.
Hold him back. It's the 3 mana equipment, and equipped soldier gets +2/+0. Equipped soldier for 1 white mana, or equipped for 2. Turns your Votion Medic into a 3/4. It's insane. Broken. It's probably like realistically like a 6. Like it's pretty good actually. Like with all the soldiers running around, like this is probably gonna be kind of stupid.
Yes, Roby. Yes. Yeah,
But
it is a
only
6.
because it works with my motion medic for sure.
I completely concur with Roby. It is definitely a 6. What a great card.
I hate
Oh.
it. I hate it, for the record.
I feel like such a sellout right now. And I hate
feel like it's
myself for
solid.
it.
Give it a 6.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a 6 too because power stones are like a thing, and you can use your power stones to.
You don't
do
even
this
need to,
stuff.
right? Like you could just equip your soldiers for 1 white mana. Like it's cheap to equip. Like
Well, I mean, you can cast it with power stones
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
it's
but
kind
yeah.
of
The amount of
expensive.
soldiers
But
you're gonna have, and if you're in that deck, this is gonna
it's
be
gonna be annoying to whenever your opponent has one of these, right?
For
Yeah.
sure.
It just
This gonna
fucks
have
up
shitty stupid
combat.
guys.
Like
Yeah, and turns all their 3/1s into 5/1s.
Yeah. And with all the unearthed guys, like picking up stuff is really important too. So
Yeah.
good.
Could be a 6. I want to asterisk this one to check in on it later.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like that I give it a 6.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel
It doesn't
dirty.
feel right in my heart. But
I feel dirty.
Doesn't feel good because you guys rated it so high. All right, next we have Calamity's Wake. 1 colorless, 1 white for an instant. Exile all graveyards. Players can't cast non-creature spells with this this turn. Exile Calamity's Wake. This is an interesting one. There's kind of like the like Orm's Chant kind of things. There was another one, Abeyance, I think was another one that was sort of like this, where you play this on your opponent's turn, and then or you play it in response to something if you're trying to get something past that turn. This is definitely like a sideboard card. It's probably a 2.
Yep, and we're on to our uncommons now. So this is our uncommon.
oh yeah.
I think it's a 2.
Yeah, I have it as 0. I don't think there's any reason you should literally ever put this.
Exile all graveyards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
still,
reason.
like that's the worst way you could do it, right?
I mean,
It feels
there's
super
still a way
bad.
to do it. Yeah, but yeah.
They can like play instant speed spells on the stack when you cast this. Like, that's all it does.
It's sideboard.
Yeah.
It's sideboard fodder, if anything else.
I don't think I'll ever sideboard it. But
You gonna take that vow?
Nah,
Nah,
graveyard
yeah.
exile's good. You gonna take the 1/4 vow, Mister? You didn't take a vow last time,
Oh,
I broke my
Huh?
vow.
oh,
Andrew. You're playing that 1/4. Yeah, stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll-
You ain't taking no vows.
All right, I'll assess my vows at the end of the set review.
Okay.
Alright.
Next up, we have Great Desert Prospector. This is 4 colorless and a white for a creature, human artificer, and it's a 3/2. And when it enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token for each other creature you control. There was a card printed like this before, but it made a bird for each defender you controlled. And this is not even defender. This is just every creature you control, including itself. Power Stone token. Insane. Not as good as a bird, but each creature makes up for it. This is a 9.
I had this card at like a 4 until Ryan said, "This is Wingmantle Chaplain," and then I looked at it again, and yeah, I'm up to 9 now. This is stupid. This is very stupid. Like this card's gonna be disgusting. I'm up to 9. It's broken.
How many Power Stones do you need after 5?
A lot.
What do you
A
expect?
lot of them. I'm
Play
gonna be doing so much stupid
you weren't-
things.
I'm
It-
casting 10/10 tramples for 10, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if we're going up that high, the only thing I don't like about this guy that's not like Wingmantle Chaplain is that it only procs one time. You don't get it for everything that comes into play
Yeah.
after
That's
it.
true.
And so
But like you're way more likely to proc on this than you were with Wingmantle Chaplain, right?
Yeah, he's at least making 1 himself, but he's probably making 2 or 3 pretty easily.
like I think this guy's a 6. I think he's essential.
He doesn't make one for himself. just to
No.
clear it up.
Yeah, see.
Oh yeah, you're
Other-
right. Each
Yeah,
other.
Yeah.
this guy's like a 6. And then if you ever like have nothing, like this guy's a terrible top deck, obviously, but yeah, it's definitely a 6 for me. I'm not that high on it.
It's a super good uncommon.
I like him.
It's obviously built around you though. Maybe a 9's high. It's built around 9.
Next up, we have Lay Down Arms, which is 1 white mana for Swords to Plowshares. Exile target creature. with mana
Sorcery.
value.
Swords to-
Sorcery. Exile target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of planes you control. Its controller gains 3 life. This is a 7. This is very good.
I mean, Swords of Plowshares was an instant, right? I just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't have
yeah,
any
okay.
condition on it. It was just unconditional.
Okay.
Yeah. This is cut down. This is like as good as cut down.
It's a sorcery though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still as good, I think.
It
It exiles. It exiles.
You honestly may be right about this. I think Ryan brought it up earlier, and so you're right about this. That there's a lot of sorcery removal, not very much instant removal. Something to just kind of pick up on there. I think this is like a 5 or it's probably like a 6. Maybe it's probably a 6. It's just having to have all those planes in your deck to get to those bigger targets, and there's going to be some huge targets with all those prototype type creatures
I
out.
feel like most of the decks that this is good in though, like you just want to stem the bleeding. You just want to kill their gnarly 2-drop.
I just want my removal spells to remove creatures. Like,
Well, like, can you like agree this is at least as good as the sorcery speed cut down?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it has a way higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 7.
Okay. Fine. Logic. Next, we have Lauren, Disciple of History. 3 colorless, 1 white for a legendary human artificer. It's a 3/3. Whenever Lauren's Disciple of History or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Solid. This is a 6. If not a 7. Probably more of a 7 if you just have any legendary creatures beyond this guy.
I mean, this is like Gravedigger for artifacts.
So
right?
good.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be
pre-
awesome.
Yeah, it's super solid. It's 6 leaning towards 7.
I have it at 7. I just think it's really strong.
Next up, we have Mass Production. 5 and a white for a sorcery that makes 4 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. That's right, colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. 4 of them for 6. I feel like this will be more playable than the thing was in the last set. It's uncommon. It's a little bit rarer. 4 is a ton. If they're 2/2s, that's insane. It's better than Oath. If you can make them 2/2s, if you can make them 2/2s, it's better than
Calm
Oath.
the hell down.
It's not better than Oath on its own. It needs some
Because it
support.
doesn't. You don't get the scribe.
It
What was
needs
the
a
Oath, like,
caring
scribe
father,
3?
right? It needs a caring father. Yeah, you don't get the scry, and it's uncommon, so you can't chain them. But 4 is more than 3.
I will say that the creature tokens are more relevant for sure,
I
but they
think
also
so.
don't have vigilance. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Ah,
gonna
that's
start
not
off with
like
the
it.
6 and just plan to be wrong, but I'm excited about it.
I have it at a 5.
I have it at a
I
5/0.
I don't like it at all, but it's probably going to be a 5. The creature type's just too relevant for it to be less than 5.
Artifact and soldiers. Yep.
Yeah. Next up, we have Meticulous Excavation, which is 1 white mana for an enchantment. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it has Unearth, instead exile it, then return that card to its owner's hand. Activate only during your turn. I have this at 3, which is probably generous, but this is mega cute. like this is so stupid. I kind of like it. It's terrible trash, but there might be something there.
I think if you have any kind of come into play effects, this card gets really insane. And to buy back your unearthed stuff too is just so much value. And for only 3 mana to activate, 2 colorless and a white, I mean, my gosh, like what more could you want? And it saves it. It's not even activating it. You can activate it only during your turn. So if they have, it's not a sorcery speed. So if they put like you're in combat and they giant growth their guy, you can just bounce your dude back, save it. Yeah, this is real strong. It's gonna screw up a lot of combat math and a lot of just tricks on board stuff. 6.
Trash. This card's trash.
Ah!
Activate only during your turn. Pay 3 to return something to your hand.
It
No,
is. It does absolutely kind of nothing.
How
I mean,
Like,
it does only cost
like,
1 to put it out. But
yeah.
like,
this card you can dirtle with?
This is that's why I like it. I still don't think it's good though. Like I'm gonna play
Yeah.
it. Don't get
I'm
me
you
wrong.
can use the power stones to
I
activate
can't
that
wait
ability.
It does cost infinity mana.
Oh my!
Yeah, like you're like,
like
oh, I'm gonna play my unearthed guy for 4, and then I'm gonna return him to my hand for 3.
yeah,
And then,
that's
what?
so funny.
I'll just
It's
play
so
my
cute.
10-10. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just play my 10-10.
I can't wait to beat down. on
Oh
this.
god,
Oh.
if you beat me to this, I'm quitting.
Oh man!
what do you give it, Ryan? What's your
2.
yeah?
I mean, it'll be
Okay.
cute. It'll be fun to like mess
Cute,
with, but
yeah.
like if I'm ever trying to seriously win a tournament, I'm not playing this card.
Oh my gosh! Shots fucking fired! Oh.
That
I'm
is
ready to win a
fire.
tournament with this. I'm winning week. I think. Wait, I'll win week 1 with this thing.
Never
I'm
happen.
promising.
It will never happen.
I guarantee it.
Oh my gosh.
Alrighty.
Oh goodness! All right. Next up, we have recruitment officer. 1 white for a creature, human soldier, a 2/1, and it has an activation ability as well. 3 colorless and 1 to look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less among them, and put the rest. Put them into your hand. Oh wow, that's even better than I thought it was. It's just a creature. That's pretty good. Put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. This card is just gas. It gets you in the beginning of the game, it gets you through the mid game, and it probably just gets you through the late game, just plowing through your deck. Solid. Savannah Lions has come a long way. This is a 6.
Yeah, this is pretty good. It's a 6. I agree.
I have this as 7. This is like the best 1-drop in this format.
Yeah,
This is a very strong creature for 1 mana. Like that's so good. I don't know. Just comparing this to the last 1 mana spell we saw, like this is so much gas.
The
for
first
sure.
striker that just bodies this. What are you talking about?
No, I was talking about the 1 mana enchantment that bounces things.
Okay, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up because
Yeah, like, 'cause,
Um,
like this is
but no, with the Wingmantle Chaplain card that makes a bunch of power stones, it could be disgusting.
Yeah, it fuels itself.
Like, what if you had like 3 dudes out and that guy, and you just make 3 power stones, and then you bring him back and you make 3 power stones, and then you bring him back and you make 3 power stones. The next time you do that, like
Can you imagine all the 10/10s you can cast with that?
this will be real cute. I don't think it's like legitimately good, but it will definitely be cute. It's probably not a 2, but
Just keep
it
talking
ain't no
about
6. It ain't no 6.
It's about
Just
to
for
get
sure
to a 6
not a
by the time we're
6,
done with this. I'm gonna go back to that at the end of this. We'll talk about it again.
All right.
Recruitment officer gave it a 7. Love it. Next up, we have Repair and Recharge, which is 3 white for sorcery. Return target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a Power Stone token. I didn't realize when I first read this that this doesn't bring back a creature. Huh. I still give it like a 5. It seems like it's pretty good. Maybe it might even be a 6, but bringing back irrelevant, bringing back your planeswalkers, it's sick.
Yeah, I think with the Mystic Archive stuff or whatever, what are we calling those? Like the blueprint cards? Or
Mystical archives.
Retro artifacts.
with all the retro artifacts in this set, I think this is going to be pretty strong. Those power level cards are pretty high there, and I think this will be in that vein. So 5 is pretty good.
Okay, this is a 7 or an 8. The artifacts that you're returning are the huge prototype artifacts. They're gonna be sick.
That's true.
How are you milling them in white though? Like you're in pretty
you'll
hard
see
white.
later. There's lots of looting things.
I guess there's like the mill white guy.
There's lots of looting. Everything has like a mill cycle, and there's other mill.
Yeah.
But like looting too, obviously.
Was it double white? There was a double white card that did something like this, right? In Amonkhet? I feel like that card was really good
Maybe.
too.
I think it's going to be good to cheat that stuff out.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it gets better with prototype guys too, because he's prototype guy dies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yep. Yeah, you can just.
All right, you convinced me 6.
I'm at 7.
Oh, 6.
7. Okay.
Next, we have Static Net, 3 colorless and a white for an enchantment. When Static Net enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Static Net leaves the battlefield. When Static Net enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and create a Power Stone token. I know Roby loves these kind of cards, so I got to give it a 6 for him.
This is absolutely solid removal. 2 life, a Power Stone, and exile something. It's at least a 7.
I have this at 8.
Yeah, it's
like you're like I would have this originally at like a 6 as like weird conditional removal because it's like they can always kill this, right?
Yeah.
Give me 2 life, I give it an extra point up to 7. Give me a tapped Power Stone too. That's an 8. That's a bomb.
That's
so much value.
There's like
so much value.
You don't want an O-ring? Tell you what, I'm gonna throw some life on there.
Yeah.
Wait. Before you go,
Power Stone that deal so really good for me.
That's strong.
This is like a used car salesman made this card.
This is so good.
I love it.
Already buying the card, man.
I give it an 8. Yeah.
Next up we have Thopter Architect. This is 3 colorless and a white for a creature human artificer 2/3. When an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Obviously, kind of build around you. There's going to be a ton of artifacts. Given some stuff flying every once in a while for the cost of paying an extra mana or 2 for a creature's decent, I'm going to give this a 5.
It's probably I'm leaning almost towards 4. Just because of the fact it's a 2/3 for 4. It's terrible stats. But like you're gonna be able to trigger it quite a bit, you know. But I'll start at 4.
I was gonna give this a 3 based on stats alone, but it has this cool Thopter vibe going for it, so I'll just bump it up to a 4 just because I like the Thopter wings in the background.
It's gonna be so easy to get artifacts into play.
This card is infinitely more likely to beat me than paying 3 mana to return something to your own hand on your turn only.
True. That's true.
But then you can return an artifact to fuel this thing.
That's true. That's true. We've unlocked a Wombo combo.
Wombo combo. I need a combo breaker little thing. Combo breaker.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next up we have Combat Thresher, which is a 7 mana 3/3 artifact construct creature with prototype 3, where it becomes a 1/1, and it has double strike, and whenever it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and it's a 3/3.
This is our first prototype card.
Yep, so I'll read prototype. You may cast a spell with different mana cost, color, and size. It keeps its abilities and types. So either you can cast it for 7 for a 3/3 with double strike that enters the battlefield and you draw a card, or as a prototype for a 1/1 with double strike that whenever it enters the battlefield, draw a card. I'd probably give this a 7. It says draw a card.
This card, this card's like a 6 to me. It's so good. Just like the drawing a card, even at 7, it's probably like a 7, right? Yeah. At 7 mana.
At 3, but like, it's only a 6. What did you give Phyrexian Rager?
Did I give 6? If I gave Phyrexian Rager a 6, this guy's like a 7 then.
Yeah, because this is like a strictly better Phyrexian Rager, right? You don't have to pay a life. It's a 1/1 double strike.
The 2/2 is pretty relevant in this set, but the double strike, I guess, is the same thing.
Double strike. That's like basically a.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing, except for the 7-drop part's not, because it dies to like lightning bolt stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still good. It's still good. I'll give it a 7 too.
All right, next up we have Yothin Frontliner, 1 colorless for a artifact creature soldier. It's a 1/1. Whenever a Jotun frontliner attacks, another target creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Unearthed, 1 white. Man, this guy's pretty good in that soldier deck. And man, that soldier deck's looking way more aggressive as time goes on here. This guy's probably a good role player in that deck, so it's probably like a 4, just because it's a good role player.
Yeah, this is kind of a card that you need when you need it. If you want a bunch of artifacts coming into play, or you need some random thing that he does, then you play it. I don't think it's amazing by itself on its own, so I'll give it a 4 too.
I have it at 5. I think it's gonna be really good in the decks that want it. I think it's gonna be solid.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to rares and mythics. Next up, we have In the Trenches. This is a colorless double white for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1, and it has an activated ability for 5 and a white. Exile target non-land permanent you don't control until In the Trenches leaves the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. I think this is going to be pretty good. You're going to want it in those go white soldier decks. It's a mythic, so you're not going to get it that often, but I'll give it a 6.
I have it at 7. It's like good removal, and it also like affects the board in a meaningful way. So
I have this at a 9. I think repeatable exile.
It's not repeatable. It's not repeatable.
Exile target non-land permanent. You can
only once. Yeah.
Activate only
once. Oh.
So it's not repeatable.
Only
That's the problem
once.
with it. Yeah.
Oh, fuck this card. Sorry, it's a 6. Ugh, that's upsetting.
I still think it's a 7. Like, it's pretty solid removal.
Absolutely.
8 mana, 9 mana removal.
9 mana removal. Ugh, no.
Power Stone tokens.
Yeah.
Calm down.
9 mana.
Next up, we have Kayla's Command, which is 1 white. For sorcery, choose 2. Create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. It gains double strike until end of turn. Search your library for a plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, or you gain 2 life and scry 2. It's like a 6 for me. Does a lot of stuff.
Got a lot of text. Got to be good.
It has a ton of text. It's got enough text that I believe it is okay.
I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd play a 2/2 for 3 that found you a plains, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yeah. That's a 6
Yeah,
for me.
solid.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Kayla's Reconstruction X and triple white for a sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to X artifact or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I feel like this is way more geared toward constructed than draft play, and for that, I think it's more of a 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is super good. I think it could be okay if you're in the 3 or less deck. Like, your whole deck's geared around it, and then you pay like 2 or 3, and you hope to hit 2 or 3 things. I don't think I at that point it's like a 4.
And
like
5 mana for
top case. Yeah,
6
like
mana,
so it's
yeah.
not even that bad, right? So yeah, I'll put it at a 3 just to be higher than Andrew.
I'll probably put this at a 0. I don't think you play it. I don't think you play it. It's not good.
First 0.
I had a 0 earlier.
Did you really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All
On
right.
the Exile Graveyard card.
Oh yeah, you're wrong about that.
You're
one.
wrong about that.
Next up, we have Lorn of the Third Path. 2 colorless and a white for a legendary creature, Human Artificer. 2/1 with Vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. Then you can tap it. You and target opponent each draw a card. This is an 8. It's kills something relevant in this format, an artifact or enchantment. When it enters the battlefield on a stick, it's going to be good. It's an 8.
Yeah, I have it at 8. And it does the Skycrier thing from Streets of New Capenna. Like, we learned that that's kind of okay, right?
For
and
free.
You can, yeah, and you can choose when you want to do it too. Like, it's not just sorcery speed. Like, Yeah, that's pretty good.
The
Yeah.
fact that it has vigilance makes that even.
You can attack too and
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, this card's great. I mean, 8 is solid. Even its first ability just to destroy something when it comes into play is good, and then you tack on all this other stuff. Again, it's the car salesman. You already sold me, bro. I'm ready to buy.
Yeah.
And plus, this is really good when you bounce it back with that wide enchantment.
Yeah, it is very good with that.
Yep. If you have 6 mana laying around,
I got some spare change.
and it's your turn,
Okay.
and they don't have removal.
Mael, Shield of Argiv. 3 colorless, 1 white for a legendary creature, human soldier, 3/4. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Whenever Mael, Shield of Argiv attacks, create X 1/1 colorless soldier creatures, token creatures, where X is the number of soldiers you control. This guy is an army. If you just have unto itself, I guess it just starts grinding away here. This guy's good. I mean, it just messes with the game mechanics. I think it's a solid 8, probably 9.
I'm leaning towards 10. This is all these army and I can cards are like deal with it or lose in like 2 turns.
That's definitely true. I believe you.
Yep. I'm at 10.
I have it at like probably like a strong 7.
Oh,
It does.
stop.
It has to suicide itself in. It does have to suicide itself. Like it doesn't get the trigger off of just attacking. It itself has to attack, which is what I think bumps it down from an 8 for me.
I
But your opponents can't cast spells. Like you can just set up the attack so good and so scary for them
But
to
like
block.
on turn 5, like won't your opponents just have like 4 power to kill this thing?
I mean, yeah, but what if I have a giant growth? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything to like just get around it. It's good. I mean, it's probably a 9 just because it doesn't affect the board immediately, but you will lose to
It
it if it
doesn't, yeah.
lives. If it can attack like twice, you just lose.
Yeah.
It's probably a 9. Next up, we have Siege Veteran. This is 2 colorless and a white for a creature human soldier 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, make a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact token. This just does everything you wanted to do. I mean, at worst case scenario, it's a 3/3 for 3 that keeps buffing itself. And when your other stuff dies, they come back as 1/1s, and you can put counters wherever you need. This is just solid. I would take it over removal every time. It's an 8.
Yep. I agree.
I agree.
Next up, we have Soul Partition, which is 1 and a white for an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. This is interesting to me. This is basically like bounce. I would probably give it like a 5. I don't think that I will ever value this card highly enough to ever actually be able to play it. Like I think other people are gonna probably value this a little too high. It's like strictly better bounce. I don't know. Probably a 5.
Yeah, I've never really liked these kind of taxing cards, and it's cool that it moves something out of the way for a little bit, but two mana is not gonna make or break unless you're really aggressive here and you really need to move it out of the way. I mean, I feel like this is probably better. This is definitely a better constructed card than it is a draft card. It's probably like a 2 for me.
A 2, Andrew?
Is
Stop.
that wrong? That's super wrong.
Okay,
Like,
what
you
if I
still can
told
hit
you?
all
Oh
tokens
my
with
god!
You can hit tokens with this, right?
What if I told you that your little enchantment that you can pay 3? This does that for the same cost as it once. You can hit your own stuff and bring it back in.
I think so.
It's the same as the enchantment for you.
But it's not.
But
repeatable.
this is an aggro removal card that's like, I play a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. You play a 3-drop. I exile your 3-drop for 2, and it costs 2 more to cast. You're never going to play it again, and you just kind of lose on the spot. This is a way better bounce. It undoes a complete turn. It's It's good. I mean, it's not strict hard removal,
Yeah.
but it's a 6. It's like super good.
I just
Might
feel
be
like
a
he had
6.
those
I'm up.
prison-y cards before, and it's like they never felt as good. I could go.
Just
It's definitely like a 4. I gave it a 2 just snap reaction, but I
what
mean,
would you give a bounce spell?
oh, man, I love a bounce spell though.
This is a bounce spell.
But does it
Like
cost
this is
you more to play it though?
Yeah, he makes it even
That's-
better.
it's
upside.
strictly better. That's an
How's it-
upside.
It
That
costs
they
us
could.
more to cast.
For them, yeah,
Yeah.
for your opponent.
For them. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
bouncing my own stuff.
No, for them.
You don't really want to bounce your own stuff with this. I was just
Yeah,
being
you
facetious there.
don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about that. I was like, that seems really bad. No,
No, it's just a good bounce spell.
Like it's
right?
like
Fine.
unsummoned, and that
extra
thing costs
good.
2 more to cast.
it's fine. I mean, it's not like your highest priority stuff, but it's good.
Yeah.
You're just gonna take it just to take it. I mean, it's super easy to splash too.
I think it's a 6.
It's a 6. I go up to 6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll stay.
I was being stingy.
I'll stay strong.
Okay, with 3 or
Just-
4.
4. I gotta
Okay,
move up.
okay, so you did.
No.
Okay.
What do you give unsummon? What do you give unsummon?
Okay.
What's an unsummon, Andrew? Just so everyone knows you're a liar.
Unsummon
Like,
5, right?
Oh god.
yeah. Oh, come on. We know that you would want to give unsummon a 6. We all know.
It's
All right,
better
dude.
than unsummoned.
Next up, we have Tocasia's Welcome, which is a 3. Wait, was it even my turn?
Go
Did I
for
just
it.
read the last
Go
one?
for it. Yeah, you
Oh, I'm
did.
sorry.
Just go.
You're
I'm
skipping
sorry.
me all the time. It's okay.
2 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is innate. It's a disgusting bomb. That's all.
Yeah, I've always seen this kind of ability stapled to other guys. You know, like we see. Oh goodness, you know, there was one from just when something enters battlefield.
Mentor of the Meek, yeah.
Thank you, Mentor of the Meek. I couldn't remember the guy's name.
It costs 1 mana though.
Yeah, this is
Or
great.
you can
though.
do it multiple.
I think it's
yeah.
pretty good. I mean, it's an enchantment, so it's a little bit harder to get rid of. I don't think it's going to necessarily win you the game. It's more of a win war if you have some stuff going. So it's more of a 6 because it's just not impactful immediately on the board. Like as far as like I win right now, so it's a 6, 5.
Yeah.
Or a 5 actually.
Yeah, it's 6 to 7. If you really want to play this archetype, you're going to value it a little bit more highly. But
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I would ever hesitate to take a removal over it. I think it's a 6.
Oh, that's super wrong. This card wins you games that you could never win otherwise.
I think-
Like in the late game, like this card makes your deck a late game deck, right?
Like so does removal though, right?
No, because removal doesn't replace itself. It's a 1-for-1. This turns all your shitty little 3/2s and like 3 mana creatures into an extra card, right? Like that's
Once a
that's-
turn, yeah.
Once a turn, once a turn though. But that's so good. Like that makes it so you can compete with like control decks even.
I don't know. 8 seems ridiculous to me on these
We'll
cards.
see,
Like there's
we'll
always
see.
yeah, we will.
We'll see.
There's always cards like that are like if you meet this condition, you can draw a card. Like if you have a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Or whenever
This
one of
is
your creatures
morbid
dies, draw a
opportunist.
card.
It's
No,
morbid
it's not, 'cause
opportunist
that's the
on a
body.
harder.
And that happens like when creatures die, which are just going to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like
And you're never gonna cast creatures.
Plus, it does nothing when it comes into play.
Yeah,
Like it does
it's not a 1.
Neither does morbid opportunist.
3.
It's a 1/3 that you can't attack with because it's too valuable.
You can just attack with a decay.
It's
token
a 1/3
and instantly
Yeah.
draw a card on turn
No,
3
this
when you
card's
This is
play
like-
insane.
Morbid
It's
Morbid
insanely
Opportunist.
good.
This is,
This is like
way
the
worse than Morbid
Duplomancy,
Opportunist.
right? Like Duplomancy did nothing when it came
Yeah.
into play. And this is exactly in that same vein. How good
No.
is Duplomancy? Like you
It
have
only costs 3 though, but yeah.
Duplomancy, you guys are tripping.
I'm just saying it does nothing when it comes into play.
Yep.
5.
Okay. All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Good. You build around that. I'll build around the other one. Autonomous Assembler, 5 colorless for an artifact creature assembly worker. Ooh, very nice. For a 4/5, has prototype. For its prototype cost is 1 colorless and 1 white for a 2/2. And then its other abilities are it has vigilance, and for 1 mana, you can tap it and put a +1/+1 counter on target assembly worker you control. Cards like this have been traditionally strong, and at a 2/2 that has vigilance that can start pumping itself as it goes along, or other assembly workers, very strong. I give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm at a 7. I think it's going to be good.
I can
Vigilance that
agree to
bumps
7 too.
itself.
Yeah.
I have this at a 6. Yep.
All right. Next up, we have Platoon Dispenser. This is 5 colorless for an artifact creature construct, 4/6. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. Pay 4, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token, and you can unearth it for 2 colorless and a white. So for 3 and a white, you can make a 1/1, and you can unearth it for 2 and 2 whites. 4/6 that draws you cards all the time. This card's going to be really good. It's going to be nutty. It's a 9.
I have it at a 10. I think it's like a real disgusting bomb.
Yeah, I think it's a 10 too. As
It's
a
all
very
me and the
disgusting bomb.
can.
The fact that it comes
Yeah.
back and just keeps drawing you cards, it probably draws you another card when it unearths too. Is
Yeah.
insane.
It's nutty for sure. Next up, we have Steel Seraph, which is a 6-mana artifact angel creature. It's a 5/4. It also prototypes for 3 and comes in as a 3/3. And it has flying at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink until end of turn. Nutty. It's probably like an 8. It's a just real disgusting stats too. And if you ever like play a 3/3 flyer for 3 is disgusting. Plus a super relevant ability. Like it's gonna be real nutty.
Yeah, 3/3 flying lifelinker for 3.
Yeah, that's foul.
Yeah, this seems really good. I'm a big fan of cards like this that give you kind of choices to kind of map out your gameplay, or if something gets bigger than it, you can give it to that creature too. So I think this is good as 8.
Yep, he's an 8. His prototype does cost double white though.
That is
One
true.
one
Some
in
people-
double
It's worth
white,
it.
but-
Yeah.
For a 3/3
is.
flying lifelink,
It is.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Next up is Urza's Silex, 3 colorless for a legendary artifact, 2 colorless, double white, and you tap it to exile Urza's Silex. Each player chooses 6 lands they control. Destroy all other permanents. Activate only as a sorcery. When Urza's Silex is put into exile from the battlefield, you can pay 2. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card and reveal it, and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. This is good. I mean, it's just very strong. It's a 9. It's a board wipe. And if you have a Planeswalker, I guess this goes to a 10. But, I mean, really, this is just a good way to reset the game.
Yeah, this is a good board wipe, but there is a lot of stuff that kills artifacts, so to have this lying around is kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think I'm more 8, leaning towards 9, but I do think it's good.
Yeah. You can
I
even
missed that
activate
in
it on
it.
7, though, too, right? You can just hold on till 7 and just go for it.
That's true. And you can have some power stones and do it like before that too.
Yeah.
So
I have it at 8. Yep.
all right, that's it for white. Come back next time for blue.
All right.
How long did we go on that one? That one was like an hour.
Not quite an hour, I don't think.